Hello and welcome to Nightsky Sanctum session 11. I can't believe it. It's been so awesome. How's everybody doing today? Morningstar?
Absolutely smashing, darling. I couldn't complain if I wanted to. And you?
Wonderful, absolutely. Azalwin, welcome back.
Thank you. It's happy to be. I'm glad to be back. So excited I can't talk straight.
We can't do anything straight here. How are you doing, Lilith?
I'm doing great now that I'm with you fine folks.
And Anya?
Yeah, doing really good. Thanks.
Good. All right, we have a slightly new setup here. You know what? It looks like my camera might be frozen on stream. There it goes. I'm having some issues. Well,
It's a slideshow.
we will hear from chat if we are having issues, I hope. So I'm seeing some delays, but everybody else's cameras look awesome, so that's all that matters. So, if I remember right, we left off after a bout of downtime. Everybody got their downtime actions and XP. You had just completed an undertaking. Does anybody remember what it was, or can do a little recap?
Yeah, we killed a bunch of bikers because they were religious.
That's the one.
And there was a lot of fire.
There usually is.
Yeah, arson was added to the list of favored undertakings. I remember that very, very, very vividly. Well, Morningstar, can you introduce yourself? I just realized I left my coffee on the other side of the room.
Introduce me. Well, I am the magnificent morning star. But I do believe Gavin was talking about my character, Elise. She is our Lydian psyche. She likes to manipulate and twist and boss her way into getting things done without necessarily having to do them herself.
The best way.
Certainly keeps one's hands clean. Legally and literally.
Anya, will you introduce your character?
Yeah, I'm playing Hollis. She is a Gob Baba. That means she is very concerned with the underworld and spirits and death in general is the way she likes to pursue her magic.
And Lilith, that's Seth.
I play Seth. They are a Nerid shapeshifter, so they're a fish person, and they believe all problems can be solved by looking like somebody or something else.
And Azalin.
I'm playing Yarrow. She is a satyr arcanist, and she kind of goes a little mad with her experiments here and there, but she's figuring out that sometimes teamwork might actually be the better way to go.
Nice. Ooh.
Not it already.
So we are going to, if I remember right, Lilith, Seth has a ally that you said might be delivering some information. Can you describe your ally? It was regarding the Central Park excursion.
Oh, don't remember his name. Bad.
Oh.
Jack?
Oh, I meant your ally should be at the top of your personal contacts.
Oh. Mara? The mortal?
Ah.
So, she's a merchant, and last we saw her, she had wheel legs and one arm, I believe.
Oh.
Don't know if she still looks that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you all did some checking in on her. to see how well she's recovering?
Sounds good. Probably just to try to see how she's doing, if she's still going to be helpful, or if we have to find a new ally at this point.
Her leg is still a wheel.
Mm-hmm. And would you all like to go to the mainland together?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds smashing. Leave the children though.
I'd like to
Okay.
see some more shenanigans up close this time.
Mm-hmm. So you all arrive near Central Park. What time of the day or night would you prefer to get there? It's your contact, Seth, so
Maybe we meet at sundown.
sounds good.
Nice and moody.
Yeah, and the sundown is getting earlier and earlier every day, so you meet up at 5:15, and and when you see Mara, she has magically recovered most of her limbs. She's still walking on one wheel-shaped limb, one leg, and she rolls herself to the corner of the street that has an entrance to Central Park nearby, and is very excited to see you, and seems to be in good spirits. So she says, have you had run-ins with Jack of Central Park, Shadow Dawn fame?
Yes, and almost didn't survive it.
Well, you know how I lost my limbs, and it wasn't from him, but I hear that's not that crazy of an outcome for run-ins with him. Anyhow, I hear he has returned from some kind of excursion, and I was going to, she reaches into her bag and pulls out 3 silver medallions. I was going to trade these in and see if I could get a non-rotating leg in return.
Start with a peg.
The wheels come in handy, she says. But yeah. How are things going with you?
Things are okay. We've been playing with fire, so overall a good time.
How's your magic holding up with all that fire around?
Pretty crispy, little slow. But otherwise, the coven's happy and healthy.
That's good. I see a new face.
Yes, our
And
family keeps growing.
She looks over at Yarrow, and it seems like she expects a story.
They like
I'm
shining.
here for all the knowledge and shenanigans.
Well, Mara has the shenanigans, if not the knowledge. So
It seems like we'll get along then.
yeah. She says, I don't think I'll need all 3 of these for what I need from Jack. So I can give away 2 to you all if you can help me find him.
He's in the same place he's been at. It shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, then we're already in Central Park.
All right. So she puts them back in her bag, and she says, "Deliver Jack, and you'll get these coins."
Deliver or deliver? We could do either.
You know, With Jack, I think he'd probably survive either way. So, sorry. Any ideas or ways you'd like to gather information?
Seems like the birds would be the most effective
Hmm.
way to at least get a lay of things. Although, I can't imagine they're going to see much through the trees.
Yep. They might. It is nightfall. Owls see pretty well in the dark.
Or Seth could turn into a monkey. Swings.
Well, Jean does do well in the dark, but she does attract attention.
Yeah.
It depends how stealthy we're wanting to be.
Central Park is one of those places where you can be a little more out there in general. It's most of it is land sort of granted to the Fae. So seeing a flaming bird flying over the forest wouldn't be the craziest thing.
Well, Jarl loves the Fae anyway. Their madness is very intriguing. So yeah,
You're
we can
gonna love
definitely
that.
use Jean and send her for some recon.
Okay. Anybody else want to go with her?
Yeah, I'll send a run.
It looks like we are having some freezing issues
Uh-oh.
on the
Yeah.
video.
Someone's invoking Tartarus.
It is
wasn't me.
bouncing between the cameras as to which one is freezing. So it was
Really?
Anya a bit, and then it was Azalwin a bit. So, how about we'll take a quick break, and I'll see if I can get a Ethernet cord up here, and we'll yeah. So, all right, everybody, we'll head to break, and we will be right back.
Unmute yourself, Gavin.
Yep, that's gonna happen every time.
Probably.
All right, we're back with Nightsky Sanctum, and hopefully that takes care of the video issues. We will see. All right. So we are just on the border of Central Park, and about to send one or more birds out to go see if you can spot Jack Spiderstripe in whatever form he might be in at this time.
I've got a third if needed. Might blend in better with you.
And Seth, you can also shapeshift your familiar as part of your abilities. So if you wanted to join in the search without putting yourself in physical harm.
Sure, I'll do that. More eyes, the better.
Mhm.
Speaking of that, how's everybody doing harm-wise?
I think I ended last session just squeaky clean, so other
Nice.
than I have one willpower tick.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
I am the very picture of health.
I just have a level 1.
Nice.
I still have my level 3 dislocated shoulder, but
Oh,
all the
no.
rest of my harm's gone.
All right. And somebody says we're having audio issues. They can't hear me. That might be from the delay. So let's see if that comes back on.
Are any of us able to be heard?
Yeah, good point.
Is it a proper stream without some struggles?
No
I know,
sense
right?
whatsoever.
Dear.
Stream audio isn't working at all. Huh. That's weird. Because nothing really changed. Wow.
Maybe we're all still on mute and we don't realize it.
That's so weird.
It's okay
Nothing
for me
changed.
to entertain the masses.
Yes. If she behaves, at least, which she's not. For some reason, she gets very grumpy when I'm streaming.
Testing. Can anyone hear us?
She wants all the attention.
She wants my glittery nose ring.
And attention.
How about now?
And I'm giving her attention and she's pecking at me.
It needs to be the undivided attention. She knows
Half
there's
of love
fans.
is
She's
just
like my fans.
half of love is just low, which is how I feel.
So she's approaching just to slap me. What is wrong with you this evening?
Sounds like my husband and I's relationship. I just run up, do a little boop and run off.
Being a little wretch. My goodness. You know what? We've got a new to her. She's been out all day.
See if that helps.
Perhaps she doesn't like my headphones.
Thank you. Any luck? You guys wouldn't be able to say regardless. That stinks.
It's like we have now moved into an all sign language and subtitle stream.
Yeah, I didn't change anything with the audio settings. I just disconnected and reconnected the internet very quickly. So it is very confusing.
Indeed.
Usually it's definitely OBS. Was OBS restarted?
No.
Maybe you should restart it.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, can someone let them know that we're gonna try restarting the stream?
Yep, I'll take that.
Thank you.
You're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll let that linger for a few seconds, and then so everybody gets a chance to see it, and then we'll end and restart.
Well, restarting your computer,
Yeah,
Gavin.
I don't know.
It's been on for a
1
while.
week.
All right, we're back to live. We're gonna see if our audio has come back.
Papa, can you hear me?
Yeah, that sounds like we have audio. I just unmuted my phone for a second. And yeah, I made no changes. I just restarted OBS, but okay. Well,
OBS hates connections.
we'll wait just a few minutes and make sure everybody makes it back into the stream. Thank you all so much in the chat for alerting us to this stuff.
Yes.
We switched to a different kind of OBS and a different flavor, and everything is just a little bit like it's the first time again. I'm a OBS virgin again. So.
Well, we're wild witches, so no
Mhm.
electronics are going to correct.
True. All right. So we were looking at a group action, most likely. What kind to get in there and find Jack in whatever form he might be in right now.
Well, as usual,
Survey?
Jean can generally survey as well, I think, because we got to kind of try to get some kind of location.
Yeah.
Yeah. Survey is good for me.
Yeah, I think survey works best. Survey seems more general, and where study seems more specific.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep, survey seems good for especially if you're going over a relatively large area.
They can do that, and I'm going to have a smoke.
All right.
Who wants to spend the willpower?
I only have one checked, so I can do it. If that works for everybody else.
Sure. First failure of the evening. Yay.
That just means you're getting them out of the way early, darling.
Hope so. Hope so.
Maybe
So I
before
just lost video and audio for like a good 10 seconds or so.
Uh-oh.
So, hey, some good rolls so far, though. Good for me, that is. Give me the most GMing ability. Yeah, it looks like there's definitely some frames of video dropping on pretty much everybody's. And then my local is just definitely really bad. So I have Hollis and Seth. Is anyone else helping with the survey roll? And who was leading?
I was leading.
Thank you.
Oh, I can definitely help as well with Jean.
Technically, I suppose I could send Whisper along too, but I don't think I'd be much use because my survey is rubbish. So I would probably just mean that whoever's doing it would have to suffer another failure.
'Twas the best of times.
Intrigued.
Do you need a refresher course in Dicebot? Or is he not responding? Oh, sorry, is Aelin?
Oh, on mine? Oh,
Yeah, to do a survey roll. There it goes. Oh no!
Oh no.
Triple
Yeah.
failure.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
That sounds
Seth, you get an XP
okay.
for a 1. Yeah.
I of course had to barely skirt that with you.
So, yeah, I forgot to sort of educate what that would be, but I think because of, the 3 of you flying around all at once. Oh, also, what kind of animal, Seth, did you go with?
Oh, I'll do a sparrow, I guess.
Not a pigeon.
But we have a pigeon on frame already. More bird.
Why would there be a sparrow in Central Park? I suppose one could say the same about a phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, good. Everything does seem to be back to normal, more or less.
I didn't shave close enough. Now I'm being cleaned.
So I think because you're going over a Fey-inhabited forest, that it's going to be risky, and that because there are 3 of you, and some of you are of varying sizes, I think that we're going to go standard effect. If it were fewer of you or more of you, that might cause some problems, but so far so good. So, all right.
Sorry,
That
just a
means that,
refresher. What does that mean for my willpower? Because we have 3 failures.
yeah, so
You
it's
have
going to
none
be so it's going to cost
gonna
you
hurt.
1 for leading it, and then 3 extra for handling all the fails.
Okay. Ouch.
And then
Yeah.
I'm going to see exactly what that risky entails as far as some complications. Because you didn't find him, but you definitely found something. So who rolled the 1? That was Seth. So Seth, I think you flew probably the most north of everyone, and you flew over Central Park Zoo. And while you were there, you heard the sound of a roar that you could not recognize as any particular animal that you know of. It actually most closely reminded you of that manticore from Rara Avis.
Okay.
But there's nothing below you that you recognize as could have made that sound. And the rest of you, let's see. So I think you guys didn't take telepathic bond, did you? No, not
No,
yet.
we were
Oh,
going
no,
to,
we
but I
haven't.
think we went with the secure cover instead.
Gotcha.
Seem to be making a few enemies.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So I think because of that, you have to, after you finish your survey, you had to have like a meetup spot. So for all three of your familiars to come back together at the very least and maybe make the fly back. But
Friends fountain.
what's that?
The fountain from Friends.
Oh, is that out there? Well, as you're flying back, you see one of the largest trees in the area is being overtaken by some kind of vines. They give you a very parasitic kind of feel. They don't seem like they're supposed to be there. And just as you're getting your eyes on them and taking in what's going on, some of the vines leap off of the top of the tree and go for the three of you. So that's going to require a prowess check from each of you, unless you want to take the complications.
And that would just entail like a resist roll with her prowess number.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can just take the effect, which would be they're going to try to pluck you out of the sky.
I don't want to get plucked.
Missed bird sting.
So you can do a prowess resist. So that would be exclamation point, your prowess score, and then the letter R. And that'll tell you how much willpower that's going to cost. Nice.
Okay, so I spend 1 willpower.
Yep.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh. Lucky one.
As Aelin does a barrel roll. Yara. Jean. That's right.
Jean.
All right.
It's hard to
Seth.
pluck feathers when they're on fire for Jean.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you have the most difficulty. Your sparrow was probably flying the closest to the tree when the vines erupted, but you weave back and forth and in and out, and it only snaps off a couple of your feathers, and you end up able to wriggle away. And now you know to avoid that tree in the future.
I started this session with 1 willpower. I already only have 2 left.
Gosh.
Oh no.
Yeah. The fish is going to troll out.
Mm.
I say it's time for our mainstay.
Fire.
Fire?
I'm not burning living trees down in Central Park. That just seems like
That just mean more
a
dead
bad
ones for you
idea.
to be friends with.
Well, I have plenty of willpower, so am I able to use my grimoire sense and see like what the resonance of like
Mhm.
like what is basically going on with the vines and everything?
Yeah, yeah, if you want to, just stop there for a moment and sort of affix your senses on it. What would you like to use for that? I could see focus or study. What do you think?
Which I would say focus, which I have 1 dice or 1 mark in, so.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that makes a lot of sense. That's using magical ability and
Yeah, because I'm using my grimoire power, so I figured I would need to focus for that. And is that just a regular dice roll?
yeah.
Okay.
It's
And
actually it's a gather information roll.
okay,
To
so
be
that
G.
would be a G then. Right. And then I guess since I have 1, would that just be 1 or 2?
1, unless you want to use willpower to increase your effect or increase your dice,
I
or you
think
could get You
I
could get
think
an
since we
assist.
didn't get a lot of information, I would like to use like willpower to like at least one, so I could see if we can get a little bit
Yeah.
more information.
If you use it, it's 2 willpower to push
Mhm.
yourself, or if
Okay.
you get assistance from one of the other birds, then you. Well, actually, I guess it wouldn't really make sense because they don't have the same power as you do. Yeah. So
Well, I
2.
have plenty of willpower, so I think I'm fine
Nice.
with that. So that would give me 2 dice then, correct?
You can choose to add 1 die or to increase the effect level. I would say this is standard effect because this is kind of right up your alley. The
Yeah.
only person that'd be better at it would probably be a green.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll just add another die then.
Okay. All right. Can you hear the dice sounds at all?
No.
Not
Yeah,
through my
I
audio.
can't hear them either. So, just another problem for us to figure out before next
Something
week.
to iron out between
Yeah.
the sessions.
I'm
So-
low-key regretting not letting the vines snap me and just use psychometry at this point.
Oh yeah, well they had you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you could do a flashback. Let's see what Azalin got, or what Yarrow got, and then we can. Yeah, you could potentially do a flashback. So
Okay.
you got a 4 on a gather information. So that is you get a little bit of information, like maybe 2 pieces of information. So as far as magic, it's coming to your it's not coming across to you as grimoire magic. It definitely seems unnatural. So your first instinct, based on where you are, is that it's probably some type of fae. But
They are
anything
not
else?
unnatural.
Unnatural to a witch.
Well, the Fae are fun to mess with and get into shenanigans with, so hopefully we can see what we can do with them.
Yeah. So you can get one
I
more piece of
reiterate
information.
my previous statement. We should just burn it all down.
Yarrow gets one more piece of information if you want to ask another question.
I'm trying to think what would help us the best right now. Let's Well, since it's a plant and it's been in the middle of all these other plants, has it been able to sense the person that we're looking for anywhere nearby?
Yeah, so I think you sort of scan the resonance of the other things around, and you haven't met Jack before, but I'm assuming you've got a pretty good description of the fact that he's a shapeshifter, and he definitely likes to screw with people.
He's a bit
And
brutal.
yeah, but you don't see anything that jumps out at you, no, that screams Jack Spider Stripe. This would be
Well,
more.
at least we're immediately safe. So I
Yeah.
think we could probably just burn everything down.
Who doesn't want to be known as the witches that burned down all of the greenery in Central Park?
Well, if we maybe keep it contained.
It is contained. There's 4 streets that border Central Park. I won't go beyond those.
I think we would be hunted eternally by the Fae that live here if we burn their forest down.
Yeah, I think we want to stay on the good side of the face.
They will come and snatch all your children. That's what the Fae are good at. Snatching
I'll get
children.
new ones.
They just
So-
learned routine.
It's
Mhm.
true.
They don't appear to be trying to get to you. Once you sort of leave the area of the tree, they kind of go back to being dormant.
So maybe some sort of security device.
Well, let's see how. I wonder how hidden my key will make us to the Fae.
That's a good question.
Because it seems like since there's so many, do we really want to be attracting so much attention? while
Mhm.
looking for Jack.
Yeah, and if you wanted to use the large amount of power from it, you could probably make the entire coven invisible.
I think it would be useful for while we're like trying to find Jack and to begin with, because
Mhm.
we do need to find him. And as we've already seen with this like wonderful plant life here, it's a little dangerous to just go cruising around the park here. So
Yeah.
we
Perhaps if we
need
were less cagey about it. Jack does know us. We've already done him a favor.
Mm.
Why don't we just walk into the woods and start shouting his name?
That was my thought, honestly.
Well, we could start a big ruckus and just attract him to us
Mhm.
It's fire.
with fire. Well, Jean can also
I'll make a
self-immolate, so I think she can make a pretty good bonfire starter.
I was gonna make a big, giant, shiny piece of ice, like a crystal, you know, shiny thing.
Yes.
Okay.
You could freeze one of the fountains, perhaps.
Mhm.
Roll the riddle. At any rate, I don't think being secretive is going to help us too much, since we want them to find us.
Yeah.
It's going to be easier than trying to find someone who could be disguised as bloody anything.
Yeah.
True, and I don't think it's a reversible power. I don't think it can make us even more noticeable.
I think
I don't know.
I'm
You are kind of the mad scientist type. Maybe you could overload it and see if you could get it to do just that.
Don't break your key.
That is true, and I do like messing with it. So maybe we can try something of the sort. Put it to use, even more use.
Yeah. That sounds like wild magic to me.
God. You just fire it all.
That is true. We could do that.
Then the cops will just come and think you're shooting pigeons in the park.
So is that wild magic, Yara?
I could also craft a giant bonfire, since we just seem to love our fire. And I have a ton. I am very well at very good at crafting. Maybe not at words, but at crafting, yes.
Yeah, you could definitely get a lot of attention from that, but it's arguable whether you'll get it from the right people.
But if we're trying to attack just spy them, why don't
Oh
we
yeah,
get some
maybe if we overload the key, it could send off a signal that only he could see.
Yeah, that sounds like a decently focused piece of wild magic. You've got a good conduit for it with the key.
And then that way it won't attract the unwanted attention, and then we can just
Oh,
focus
but
it
it
directly
will,
on-
darling.
It will attract a little bit, just a wee bit of unwanted attention.
Well,
Probably more than a gunshot, because that'll just bring mundane police. But the red watch is something we don't want. Who cares about killing a few cops?
All right, Azalwin, do you want a primer on wild magic, or do you want to try a different tactic?
well, I think I've never tried the wild magic yet.
Yeah,
So let's go ahead and first time for everything.
yeah, and I think because you're using such a focused item, you know that key is potentially destructible. So I think because of that, instead of the starting clock for the red watch being an 8 clock, we'll make it a 10 clock. So that's one of the automatic effects of doing wild magic, is that it summons the red watch. So does that sound good?
Yes.
And apparently this clockmaker does not have 10 clocks. So
Every little thing today.
yeah, it is. Just hitting everything. So we've got an 8 clock for red watch, and I'll just mark the first two off when we need them in my head. Or
All right. And so for the wild magic, I do need a refresher in that since it is my first time with it on how we're gonna go about that.
there we go. I made a 10 clock. I did a 4 o'clock and a 8 o'clock, and then filled in 2. All right. Yeah. So the way wild magic works is you spend 3 essence. Look at the rest.
Wouldn't it have been easier to do a 4 and a 6?
You add 3 Coven Fate to the Coven sheet, and you add 3 Fey Bargain to your character sheet. And then you roll 1 die for each Coven tier. And your group is Coven Tier 1,
Yeah,
although
I was
you
currently
are
pulling up the coven sheet. There we go.
you are 1 reputation away from having the and 1 upgrade away from having the requirements to be Tier 2.
Okay.
And then the results of that roll will tell us whether it fails, it succeeds with a complication, or it just succeeds outright.
So for wild, it's exclamation wild, correct?
I think it's just an action roll, so it's
Just an
just
action.
exclamation point 1. And then when we need to roll wild magic complications, if we need to roll those use the wild.
Which the
keyword.
way we're going, we may have to.
We might have to. There's a 5 in 6 chance.
Well, we take that one chance there.
Okay, so you gain +1 experience in, I guess in resolve. Is that what focus is under?
Yes. No, insight.
Insight. So you can mark 1 experience in that, and
Maybe it is resolve. I don't know why I said insight. Goodness. I got all mixed up.
I just go along with it.
And you can do exclamation point 1 and wild, WYLD. The very same. Caster's arms shapeshift into that of a random animal.
Oh, what animal do my arms get to be? Well,
Yeah.
I'm an interesting satyr then.
Do exclamation point 1 draw. Nine of Wands. A possum arms.
Aw.
That's not so bad, really.
Little
you're a
trash
little-
Then they have opposable thumbs.
Awesome T-Rex.
I love little trash buddies. Oh boy. Does that mean I'm immune to rabies now?
Your arms are just your arms.
Just your arms, yep.
Hey, I can handle little tiny meticulous tasks. I am your satyr.
So, the key starts burning your hands, and you sort of hot potato it between your 2 arms before it finally falls to the ground, and then your arms start to shrivel up, and when they finish, and the magic all dissipates from the area, you see that your arms have become about 8 inches long.
I wish I had those little baby hands.
Yeah, to put on the end of your hands. So,
Well, these
and-
are quite a development here.
there's a huge swirl of magic around you that shoots up into the sky, making a big beacon for everyone to see. that
I-
some powerful wild magic was used here.
I am a magical trash baby.
Just don't think
That
about
is
how
so
itchy your
funny.
nose.
Out of all the choices that you rolled, yeah. All right. So
The question
can
is, did we
see-
find Jack?
no, the magic the magic is still in the key. So somebody with
And
with the right will could maybe take it and try to wield the magic, but it would be a wild magic roll from someone else.
I only have 2 willpower, so I don't think I should touch it.
I'll do it.
Okay. How do you want to add your Baba spin to the spell? Or do you want to change it entirely? Just use the magic energy.
Try to just use what's already there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you just twist it into a sort of Baba way.
Turns the key in the
Yeah.
dirt.
Ooh.
Yeah. I will make the magic energy look ghostly, like an otherworldly specter searching for Jack, so maybe he'll be inclined to check it out.
Okay. And that's
You
going to
know,
cost
a lady in a white dress walking through the park calling his name.
you. Ooh, okay. So you're going to get the spirits from the underworld in on it. Cool.
Yeah.
That's going to cost, I'm going to say that's going to fill in 2 more of the red watch.
Okay.
And delete that one. So that leaves 8 left.
So how many
And
Fey bargain and all that is that?
3 Fey bargain and 3 fate.
Ooh,
And
I'm
3
full up
essence. On
Fey bargain
nice.
with
So
an extra.
you can put a 1 in your Fey contract and erase all the Fey bargain dots.
I had an extra one, so I get 1 more.
Nice. So
Okay.
that means at the end of the session, or at the end of the undertaking, we get to roll 1 die to see if Fey come to collect on your bargains.
Gotcha. Okay, and what are the other things that the coven gets?
3 fate.
Okay, that puts us over to 1. So that makes us 2 infamy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. And I guess I will roll a focus.
No, it's just wild
Oh,
magic,
just wild
so it's a coven
Coven
tier.
here?
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll go to break. No, just kidding.
Cliffhanger.
Oh no, it's a failure.
Okay. So roll 1 wild.
1 wild.
Yep.
Is it exclamation point 1?
Yeah. And then WYLD.
Are we all just gonna end up with possum arms?
Maybe. Caster's torso shapeshifts into that of a random animal.
Oh,
So roll 1.
That's going to be bizarre.
Yeah.
Roll
I want it to be a massive animal though, compared to how small Hollis is.
1 draw. Four of Pentacles. Your torso shapeshifts that into that of a boar.
A boar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get bristles up your back.
Okay.
Kind of gobbish.
Yeah. That's
And
not too far off.
Your shoulders spread out, and you start growing brownish gray hair up and down your back, and whatever shirt you're wearing gets torn down the back
Oh no,
by
not my
your
shirt.
spine.
Okay.
This Hollis's like arm and leg sockets all move to the front now. They have to like walk on
Yeah.
force. Oh no.
A little bit. It makes things a little awkward.
Well, are there tusks? Because that could be useful.
It's only the torso, so
Like the neck down.
yeah.
Just neck down.
Pork belly.
Yep.
So another wave of magical energy shoots up from the ground, and you see ghosts start appearing literally everywhere.
Okay.
So
that
they're
could
not.
be attracting.
You see the one you summoned, but it's to everyone else it would just be lost in all the commotion of all the other spirits that have been released.
I mean, this still could pull them out of the forest.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of ghosts. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Well, all this is happening. I'm just going to finish off smoking that cigarette while sat on a park bench, mildly rolling my eyes at everyone overdoing everything. I thought I was the dramatic one. And I'm going to send Whisper off into the woods to find another of his kind, to ask where Jack is.
Ah. Is that a consort since it's spiders talking to spiders?
I would assume so, which will probably not do well, but at least it's not going to bring the Red Watch in on us.
Yeah. So I think since you don't have an ability to speak to animals, it's going to be limited effect, but I think you can get the point across to them. It's whether or not they'll actually be able to help you. So I think that's going to start at limited effect, but you could raise that up with willpower or donkey abs.
I shall indeed invest in 2 willpower to raise the effect.
Okay.
Again, if it even works in the first place. Because I don't have any points in consort. I'm good at bossing people around, but I'm not very nice.
Well, you could try bossing a spider around instead.
I suppose I could.
Or
Yeah.
just shouting into the forest like, Jack, show yourself.
And I feel like that's going to be
Spider.
an easy way to upset someone as free-spirited as Jack.
Yeah.
But bossing around a few unnamed non-sapient spiders,
Mm-hmm.
that couldn't hurt too much. So I'll have Whisper go in there and tell them in whatever chittery spider language, waving his little legs about, to direct us to Jack.
What if he finds a nice lady spider and gets eaten?
It'll be like the scene in 101 Dalmatians where all the dogs are barking to each other, but it's spiders plucking on webs, trying to contact.
Pull a Charlotte's Web and put a.
I'm just
a
imagining like it's all like a bass doom doom doom.
You know what? Before you roll, I'm gonna raise the effect back up to standard effect, remembering that you have seen Jack in spider form before.
So we know what he looks
So he might have a reputation among the spiders. So you can either have greater effect or you can take back that 2 willpower and have standard effect.
I will have greater effect. You know
Okay.
what? Spend the willpower. I've got no willpower right now in use, so let's be frivolous with it.
Nice.
Why not? All right. Do you think that would count as a gather information or just a...
No, that's going to be an action.
All right. So Whisper will go in there and tell a spider to tell his spider friends, tell them that we're looking for Jack. And it's a critical success.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay. So you went for greater effect, so that means you effectively double criticaled. So you get to add 2 additional things. Not only do they find him for you, but they're also able to get 2 more things for you. 2 little bonuses. Unexpected.
Where he is. Anything else of note would be worth having there? Is there anything valuable on the way there?
Hmm.
Do the
Oh, yeah.
spiders know of anything?
What about the
Yeah.
parasite vines?
Yes, I would like to know what the spiders know about those vines.
Okay. Well, that one, that's definitely an easy one. They stay far away from them because they have seen too many of their kind consumed by it. And another spider tells you that he knows where Jack's secret stash is.
Ooh.
So, potential future undertaking if you're willing to cause a little havoc.
We wouldn't do that now, would we?
Not right now.
That's in the future.
So,
Anywho, darlings, simple
Elise
solutions.
just comes in and shows us how to do it. Just next door.
Sometimes you need to underthink things.
so the spider's name is Kaeru, Kaeru, and you can write it down as a contact.
We've got a spider friend.
Yeah, Kaeru spider
Smallest contact we have.
Although, if who is it? If Mara kept going in that previous direction, she'd have ended up being like a small cart of some kind, a little red flyer, just rolling down the road. All right. So, Elise sends their spider into the woods, and within a few minutes, you're all moving around and trying to get into better positions.
Rest in peace, Stephen Sondheim.
What's that? Oh, into the woods. Yes. And then you see a spider that Seth probably remembers not so fondly, making wide strides through the underbrush and heading straight for you. So he's about 9 feet tall, if I remember right. And has
I feel like that should be an easy spider to find.
Has a striped rump, and yeah, he's making a lot of noise as he comes through, and he stops in front of Elise.
He'll sat on the bench, very nonchalant, pouring a drink from her flask into a little cup. Yeah. Hello, Jack, darling. We've been looking for you. Do you remember us? Your friends from before, the ones who brought you that little token.
He chitters something that you don't quite get, and then he realizes that he needs to shapeshift his face. So he shakes his face quickly, and it turns into a boyish face.
It's a boyish face on a spider. That's much less terrifying.
And he says, I recognize some of you, but what I don't recognize is all this, and he points at all this, like, magic energy and all the ghosts and everything. All this in my forest, bringing all kinds of attention
Yes.
to our
That's
door.
rather inappropriate, wasn't it?
He says, but I think I can take care of that for you.
Could you?
You'd owe me, of course.
Well, I suppose I won't make that decision all by myself. Darlings, are you willing to owe Jack for cleaning up your mess?
Well, I was personally the reckless one who just wanted to jump in and experiment wildly as I do. So
Yeah.
I don't think I have much say considering my previous decisions and the outcomes of that.
Hollis, do you want to take responsibility, or do you want to just let it all go to Yara?
I already owe the Fae 1, so may as well owe him 2.
Okay. That's gonna cost both of you 4 Fey bargain.
Okay.
Have to keep drinking.
And he puts his head against the ground and sticks his rump up in the air, and a plethora of spiderlings explode out and start eating all the ectoplasm and ghost matter and magical energy of the area.
That's kind of gross.
And when they're finished, they all come back and go right back inside.
Ew. Yeah, gross.
Oh,
So expensive, but we're going to clear out the red watch clock
That's good.
completely.
yeah, like this little mess never happened.
But they will be coming here. They just won't be able to track it back to you. They also eat the magic off of your, or are willing to eat the magic off of your body parts, and get you back to normal, if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do that.
Little spider teeth just.
Yeah.
The spider kisses.
Like a spa treatment.
Yeah. Basically.
You go get like the shrimp that pick at your feet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So he helps you all find a place. He takes you back to that bridge that you had seen him under before, and when he passes through that under that bridge with you, you notice that you're in a much more Fey area. He hints that it might be Arcadia, but you're not sure.
I doubt it.
So, what brings you here? And that's when Mara raises her hand from the back. And she passes the 2 coins off to Elise as she goes past. And then takes Jack into the woods to talk and make a deal. So you have 2, they're basically contracts. They're Fey contracts.
Reverse fake contracts.
They're kind of like their currency that the Fey actually care about.
Gee. Well, what shall we do with these? It was my genius plan that brought them to us, but they're magnanimous. And we are a team.
All right. Well, while they are off and discussing that, we will take a quick break, and we will be right back in just a few minutes. How about at 8:25? All right. And this time I'm unmuted. And welcome back to Nightsky Sanctum, Children of Midnight, episode 11. And hopefully everybody can let us know whether everything is coming through okay.
And let's hope all you did was mute and unmute, really. So
I switched scenes, and that might have had something to do with it last time. So we have some fan art in the Children of Midnight Discord of Keiru.
oh,
Yes, in the Black Discord.
oh yes, there's multiple discords.
Yes. So if you're not in the Discord, I will try to get a link.
A real Michelangelo.
Yeah,
Yes, truly.
I will try to get a link to the Discord server.
The work, the use of light in this work is just
Mm-hmm.
tremendous. It's
Yeah.
truly moving.
Yeah, it's little
The
legs.
color play speaks volumes.
Yes.
So
Yes,
thank you
that's
Comp,
right.
for that. Our first official fan art. And Comp, we are looking forward to your first session this Thursday. It'll be private, and then we'll have a streamed session. Although after all the craziness that's happened today, we might have scared him off from DMing and trying to stream at the same time. But we'll see.
If you get all the tech figured out ahead of time,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
the
I have-
DMing you more so have to work on the fly.
Yeah. I have 3 screens in front of me, and it's still not enough screen real estate to do all the things that I need to do. So, all right. So, you have Jack's attention. He has just finished working his magic on Mara, and she comes out with 2 whole legs,
Wow.
like
Nice.
human-ish looking. Actually, one of them's a satyr leg, but I mean, in a way, that's kind of an upgrade, if anything.
Did he collect these from other people?
Hmm.
Wait, that means she's gonna have one knee that bends forward and one knee that bends backwards. It's gonna be awful.
That is not an upgrade.
It's gonna go in circles.
Side grade. Yeah.
It's a parallel movement, really, from a wheel.
Thank
Again,
you,
a
Comp.
pig would have been better.
Yeah. Comp just posted a link to the Discord. Everybody, feel free to hop in there. It's fantastic. And yeah, it's a good time. If you're looking for an online game, that's an awesome place to play. You don't have to play on Twitch. You can play in our Discord server and be completely private with your own group. It's really awesome.
Yes.
That's how we were playing for a long time before we started streaming.
Yes.
So-
But even if your face isn't as beautiful as mine, and let's face it, it's not. There's nothing wrong with streaming your
No.
games.
Look at this one. Even with all the work Anya does.
Oh, it's gorgeous, darling. Perfectly symmetrical.
That's a trick of the camera. But I've got one of those symmetry filters on.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, Jack is here and has answered your call and cleaned up your mess a little bit. So you guys are back in a relatively good position to do anything else you want to do.
Not that good. I'm going to be smug for the rest of the evening.
So there are a couple of interesting things that you've spotted in this forest. The strange vines and the strange howls coming from the zoo. Mara, if you're talking about it at all, Mara seems interested in the stuff that's going on at the zoo.
The
And
stuff
this
going
is where
on.
we heard the roar.
Yeah. Do the roar. Yeah.
Well, perhaps we should visit the zoo in the not too distant future.
Hmm.
So many beautiful specimens there.
Yeah. Unjustly imprisoned specimens.
Yes, we should free
Oh.
them.
Yeah, all those need to be free. I do not like things caged up.
So Mara volunteers that she has heard that the that the Order secretly runs the zoo because of their proximity. The Order is based out of Belvedere Castle, which is on the northern side of Central Park, and the zoo is only about 1.5 miles away.
So if we go and let all the animals free, it'll make the Order very unhappy.
I'm sure it would.
Let's
Not
go
an
to the
enemy
zoo.
we want to make,
Let's
but at the
do.
same time, could be fun.
My answer will always be chaos, and let's do it.
That might be something we need to prepare a bit more for, though. The Order is quite formidable.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a
So,
bit more so than anything we've faced thus far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like
And if they catch us, we will just be bound. That's it. No more.
All
Could
right,
be.
buzz killing too.
I feel like we definitely
Someone has
some
to be
words-
practical in this ragtag crew. Occasionally, we need a modicum of rationality. Not saying we
So,
should do it, I'm saying we should perhaps plan it.
yeah. So, would the idea be it's something you'd like to do when you're higher tier, or just something you would do once you have enough information?
Information and potentially assets.
Mm-hmm. So, you have those 2 fake coins that you could use. That could get you the equivalent of a tier 2 artifact from the right people. So, and if you supplemented with any fey fruits that you might have, you could raise that up. 3 fey fruits will get you an extra tier of artifact.
Then we need to find the right people.
Yeah.
And the
then
right
gather-
sort of artifact.
And then gathering information we can do as flashbacks before the start of the job, so that seemed like maybe a next week thing. And we try to do something smaller and get you closer to tier 2 before next week.
Maybe, considering I have only 2 willpower and I'd be pretty useless.
True.
Yeah.
One of our greatest assets is a little bit worse for wear right now.
Mm-hmm. Maybe get that shoulder fixed up too. So, let's see.
But the Order is nearby.
Yeah. So you have 2 other potential undertakings. You have go find out what's in Jack's stash, and that's just locally, or you have the potential undertaking of figure out what's going on with the viney parasitic trees.
So the vine is not at all related to the Fae then. Or the Fae here in Arcadia.
Yeah, it's definitely in this Arcadian portion of the forest.
Well, then we might be best not mess with it unless we want to make enemies. And I don't like making enemies when I have currency that the enemies respect. Usually I wait till I've spent that before I start making enemies.
That and I like to see what kind of trinkets Jack's hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That could be interesting to find out.
Although I do warn you, darlings, if we start making enemies with Jack, we will have to burn down all of Central Park.
Or you get the Fae that holds him in check best, and get him on your side. Bumble Woodbud. Who
Bumble, oh, I love him already.
I think you all met him a couple episodes back. He was the giant tree being.
Oh, yes, at Rara Avis.
Well, no, that was Big Ed.
Oh, different giant.
There's too many trees.
Too many tree people.
My god, it's like Lord of the Rings already. Lord of the Rings, but no men.
Big Ed was a cypress mandrake,
Mm.
and Bumble Woodbud is an actual sentient fey tree.
So a proper ent.
Yeah. And I feel like Seth made pretty good friends with him, because somebody drank water out of his head. If I remember right.
Yeah, I think it was to heal some wounds or to get some willpower back.
Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of a different time.
I don't remember this at all, if I'm being honest.
That might have been from a different game, actually.
Yeah,
As
I'm
a
like,
rule, I block out everything
think it
related to
was.
nature. It's worthless.
I think he gave you all some fey fruits. Was all he did. But I could be wrong about that too. Because I have a horrible memory. So, any ideas for a short undertaking? That way we can get you back some willpower and get you ready for something.
But here's an
So-
idea.
Mm-hmm.
If we know that the Order is quite nearby, surely they occasionally have the small patrol wandering through Central Park. Perhaps
so-
we could locate one such small patrol and somehow subdue them so that Seth could get a good reading of them, and I could execute the rest. Or we could execute the rest. But take their uniforms, because I'm the only one who can wear them convincingly.
Yeah, so the Order stays out. They have their own part of Central Park, and they pretty much stay out of the Fey side, but they do make their way from the castle out to the city. So ambushing one in there is definitely more of a possibility. But the reason why it's a little harder it's not as not as dense of a forest on the north side. So it's harder to pull something like that off.
I mean, we could just go find Jack's stash. We don't have to take anything, and if we do find it, it could be a take a penny, leave a penny situation.
Mhm.
Oh, yes, I'm sure he'll appreciate us arbitrarily deciding what's worth what.
Maybe if you leave something there, you can just show him, "Hey, we found your stash," and
Maybe hide
We're
it better
leaving.
next time.
yeah.
That's going to make us friends.
I like the finding the stash idea just because it's a fun, Fey entanglement kind of situation.
I suppose at any rate, there's no reason why it should be traced back to us, should we take anything there.
Yeah.
There was
Unless
just
you
so much commotion, anything could have happened within that commotion.
Mhm.
And some random spider happened to find out where something is. My goodness. Which of the spiders is guilty? Who knows?
Yeah. So if you want to pull up, somebody wants to pull up the coven sheet that has the types of undertakings, and you can poke through there, and remember that if you do an undertaking that is your favorite undertaking, you'll get extra XP at the end of the session for your coven and get you closer to getting the last upgrade that you need so that you can become tier 2.
I don't know why we haven't arranged any accidents yet. My goodness, they're delicious.
I mean, this could be a locate artifact undertaking for sure.
I actually don't know what else would be more appropriate than a locate artifact. One could call it a burglary, I suppose, but I suppose it depends what's actually there.
Yeah, I would say judging by who he is and how powerful he is, if he has a stash, there's probably artifacts there. There's at least something hidden, and your coven arcana, your patron, gives you a +1 die to locate something hidden. So you should be able to make very good use of that this session.
Might be something there that could help us, with this little zoo.
Maybe.
A flaying knife.
If you're willing to steal from a powerful fae.
Hmm.
But yeah, you can decide that based on what you find.
Seems like trouble, but that hasn't stopped us thus far.
So locate artifact and your method and detail.
But the method is, don't we already bloody know where it is?
So
That's a
stealth.
good point. Yeah, so stealth to get there unseen.
The subtlety would be an asset, I imagine.
Yeah, agree.
And your then the detail for stealth is entry point. I'm gonna say you already have that because you're already in the forest. So yeah, entry point gained. So let's do an engagement roll based on that. So first off, Shadow Dawn is tier 1 and you're tier 1. So you're not going to lose any dice for that. With all the extra information that you gained, I'm going to give you an extra die for that. But Jack knows you're here. So I'm going to subtract a die. So we're going to end up with 2 dice. Critical. Double 6s.
Goodness. So we don't have to roll anything, we just take the garbage and go home.
You are in a controlled position and you have bypassed the first obstacle. So the first obstacle is that there is a group of red hats that are blocking your path, and I'll just roll a die at random and see who comes up with something. Do any of you have an idea about what you might use to bypass this gaggle of red caps?
I don't know what a red hat is.
Would I be able to craft a decoy?
Craft a decoy.
Just to see what they would do?
We'll just tell them to go bugger off.
So these red caps are basically tiny gobs. They look like polyps.
Wait, are they mushrooms?
But
Mushroom
miniaturized.
gobs?
No, they're little.
Okay.
Yeah, they're little brownies. They're like goblinoid brownies. So they're about 14 to 20 inches tall. They have wickedly curved daggers. And they're like standing guard, but they're like stabbing each other with their daggers. to keep each other on their toes.
My people.
So, yep. And so they look busy. They look distracted when you arrive there, and just whatever you're gonna bypass them. So whatever method you want to use. So we could go the crafting direction.
Just Hollis, being a god himself, manages to encourage them to go stab something across the park.
So, Yarrow, I think you look around and you find these like big pine cones and these sticks, and it reminds you of like kind of like a little person. And if you just put a little magic into it, do you have like any kind of telekinesis or anything like that?
No, not telekinesis.
Okay. Well, you're able to sort of cobble something together with the basics of telekinesis that you know that you haven't studied it extremely well. But does that sound like something your character would be into? Uh-oh, we lost your voice.
Oh, yeah, I feel like, I think she would craft at least a little, like, just as something that might not even really need too much, just like a mechanical push, because they're already kind of distracted, so just something for them to kind of run after and see what it is real quick, and because it's nothing too great, I feel like. Just like maybe a little car out of pine cones and sticks, and then she just gives it like a nice little push.
Yeah. There's
All
something
while
about
giggling at a little car.
I think there's something about the magical energy here that when you go to like put it together, it almost finds its own form. Like you don't even feel like you're making it, like it just wants to go together. And it makes this tiny little fetch doll. And yeah, like
So
and with
fetch. It's like slang from
yeah.
England.
And when you give it a little push and it goes running and it just blazes a path right past the red caps and they all spin around and go chasing it, and that gives you all a chance to bypass them and move on to the next obstacle. And that is the tree with all the vines around it
Oh.
is the stash, or contains the stash. You see most of the vines, though, that are moving are at the top of the tree. So the vines at the bottom are much thicker. They're about the size of a person's torso.
Yeah,
And they're not moving a whole lot.
now, I know I've been a big proponent of arson thus far, but second thought, how about a little bit of frost?
That's what I was thinking. Freeze them
Might
in
be more
place.
subtle.
Oh,
Trees
no.
don't tend to do much when it's cold.
Yeah. So you'll need to find where it is in here, but you've definitely found the right place.
Hmm.
So is it inside of the tree?
It seems so because the directions that you received from the spider are just make a straight shot for it and you'll be there. And you can see what a straight shot leads to, and it leads to a whole lot of tree and nothing much else. So it's probably from a spider's eye view. There's an obvious entrance, but from your view, there's not an obvious entrance.
We do have a spider there.
We do.
So, if that spider were to study the tree, perhaps we could find an obvious entrance.
Yep, I think yeah, from your spider's eye, it's very clear where it needs to go, and you can see that that is an area that is teeming with vines.
Did anyone bring an axe? A machete? Danny Trejo will suffice.
Straight razor. Just
Can I
anything.
freeze them in place?
I think so. What do you want to use for that?
I will definitely use a focus, and I'm gonna spend 2 willpower to get greater effect.
You could spend essence if you'd like.
Yeah, I was
Instead.
gonna spend essence as well.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'll spend 2 essence because I don't want to kill the tree. I just want to freeze it in place for a little bit.
Sure.
Hibernate it for the winter
Yeah.
in the middle of the summer.
So I'm gonna do greater effect for my focus roll.
Okay. I think 2 essence would give you greater effect because
Okay.
it's big, but yeah, it's very susceptible to frost. So I don't think you need the willpower to do that. You could give yourself an extra die though.
Okay, I'll do that. I will take the extra die. Complete success.
Nice. Okay. You want to describe what that looks like?
Sure. So, since we're nice and out in nature, Hollis will rub her palms together, get down in a deep squat, and put her hands into the dirt. And she will start speaking in her gob language and tell the ice from Tartarus to come up and freeze the tree into place so that we can get in safely.
Okay. So as you get down onto the ground and you start chanting, everyone sees the chunkiest parts of the vines just peel themselves away from the tree and start making their way toward you. And just as you're finishing the spell, the ice reaches up to the tips of them and they come crashing down to the ground, frozen.
Big.
So they
Brilliantly.
now there's like a nice walkway of vines that leads straight to the place where you're headed.
Being arrogant and smug, I'm going to walk up that walkway before anyone else bloody well can.
All right. The place where your spider could fit easily and make its way in is within arm's reach of you.
I suppose if it's that small, I shall send Whisper in to see what treasures are there before we do anything drastic.
Yeah, the spot is almost perfectly large spider sized. You probably couldn't even squeeze a chunky squirrel in there.
This is the first time that we're actually benefiting from me having a spider familiar. He's been useless thus far.
All right. So, how do you want to use him? Does he want to survey around in the hull or study?
I suppose it would be a study because we know where he's looking.
Yeah, well,
Correct.
actually, when he gets in there, it's a maze of carved out walkways. If it was you in there, if you miniaturized yourself and went down in there, you would see all these like runes that are carved along the inside of the hole, and it branches off 3 different directions once you get in a few inches.
Oh dear. Well, this is going to be an issue. Then I shall push forth a little bit of willpower in order to do a survey that's a little bit more useful, since I don't have any bloody points in it. And I don't think, well, actually, Steph, you could be of assistance here.
I guess so. Shrink
You
down
could
to
be a spider too.
Whisper and I will go on a field trip, I guess.
Do you want it to be you or your familiar?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go. I'll shapeshift down. Is my dislocated shoulder gonna mess up my spider legs?
Maybe.
There's just 3 or 4 legs that are just
Dragging them behind me.
It's all right. You've got 8 of them.
Do you want to be a spider? You could probably make it to mouse size. and still be able to navigate.
Very small frog.
Yeah, Robert could probably fit in there. I don't know how chunky he is, but
Yeah, chunky
Oh.
lad.
Lilith loves the chunky boys, so
I'm going to shrink down into a beetle.
oh, okay,
A little bit of armor protection, possibly, potentially.
Sure.
And then I can fly
Oh my
around inside if there
goodness.
ends up being a little bit more space.
it's Isan and Amaterasu.
Aw. Now
All
you're making me want
right.
to play that game again.
So is this a group survey?
I feel like a group survey would be worth doing rather than perhaps an assist, since we'll be more or less equal in this sense.
And with Master Planner, you could probably get through that
Yes.
without taking any willpower loss.
Yes, if we have Whisper lead it. But I will still also spend the willpower for that.
Okay.
Because I have no die if I don't. That way, each of us are rolling with at least one.
Can anybody else think of any way to give them an assist?
Can I lend some of my essence with let's see. What was this? Transfer essence between one or more willing witches and artifacts with impart essence.
Yes. Anyone in need of essence?
I can
No,
I
good.
can maybe do something with that.
I think everybody else is pretty good on essence
Okay.
right now.
Any.
I
But
think that's
very,
the only thing
yeah.
I can really
Unfortunately, my powers don't work on the Fae, and that's all we've interacted with today.
Oh, something you could do is use your grimoire sense to try to pinpoint where the treasures are with
I can
your
sense the resonance, yes,
resonance.
with my arcane powers.
Yeah.
That
How
would
we
be
got
very
into all this
helpful.
fun in the first place. But yeah, I would like to do that, and we can definitely get that about. Especially, I have plenty of willpower and such in essence.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
That'll
in
be
essence, we
probably-
recover very much during
Oh.
drawing down the moon.
Then
That'll
yes,
cost you 1 willpower per assist. So if you want to assist both of them with +1 die, I could see that. So it'd cost you 2 willpower.
yes, let's go ahead and do that.
Sweet. So I think this looks like you're like knocking on the tree, like sort of dowsing, but like with
I'm
like
taking
knocking
my
and looking
horn
for.
and just like knocking here and
Ooh,
there and just seeing if I
yeah,
can feel it vibrate correctly.
yeah. Looking for hollow points and magical signatures.
They're like big tuning forks, kind of. So, would I roll to assist with that then?
Nope, you just spend the willpower and they get the benefit.
Awesome.
+1 die each. Yeah. As long as they're following your advice.
If they would like to.
I'm stubborn but sensible.
The one thing it does do is if there are consequences, you might get roped into the consequences.
But at
Well,
least you won't be insect-sized.
That's true.
I think I can handle that.
Cool. All right. You two can make your rolls.
All right, so I guess if I'm doing the willpower as well, that'll be +2.
Yeah.
Or
you
that
can
means
think-
I actually have 2.
Yep.
Would I be able to
Plus-
take a Fey bargain so I can have an extra die for my survey?
Yeah. Absolutely. Let
Mine was
me
a partial success.
put the Fey bargains in the chat. So everybody can see that and help us figure one out. So, I'm thinking we start a clock for the red caps to come back.
Hey dear.
Does that sound like a good Fey bargain?
Sounds good. Either that or there's some animal on the tree that's going to eat me.
Well,
That's
oh
probably
my,
going to happen regardless. That doesn't need to be a clock.
beautiful squirrel.
All right, that's going to be a 6 clock for the red caps return. All right.
Okay.
And we have a 4 currently, and then whatever Seth rolls, another 4. All right. So you're in a controlled position though, so I don't think you're gonna be too bad off. So, you get to choose whether you both withdraw and try a different approach. So maybe it's just not working out. Yarrow is not able to get the to give you the right instructions and get you down there, or you can do it with a lesser consequence or a complication, reduced effect, or you suffer lesser harm, or you end up in a risky position. I like risky position. That now you know there's something coming.
Yeah, that makes sense. Either risky position or harm, I think. Either way.
Well, yes, and I'm not sure what other approach we could really have besides trying to cut down the entire bloody tree.
So
Which
let's
I think is a bit beyond us, given that none of us have really focused on physical strength.
trying to think of
Unless
anything that's
Yarrow
like.
can craft one of those like fireplace pillows and just like suck us out of the tree.
Does anyone know of any fey insects?
A pixie is considered an insect.
They tend to be troublesome.
And small.
Mosquitoes.
Is there really a fundamental difference between a pixie and a mosquito?
A
One's
pixedo.
cuter.
Yes, mosquitoes are rather cute.
That's the red caps. I put them in the chat. What those red caps look like.
Oh, they're precious.
Oh.
It's the cover of
Aw.
GQ.
I love
Hollis,
it.
darling, why don't you do what I did? Adopt them as your children.
I did just take hypnotism as my new ability, so maybe I hypnotize them and bring them home with us.
Oh my gosh, they can tend your garden in your graveyard. They can make everything so nice.
An
for you.
army
Oh my
of
God.
brownies would certainly be
Yeah.
entertaining, if not entirely useful.
This is what you come
Like my
around the
children.
corner and see. A large jeweled mantis.
Oh,
And
it's
it is
gorgeous.
It is beautiful.
My
and
goodness.
it as soon as you come around the corner, it swipes at Seth, and a sort of layer of fishy mucus. It just cuts through that on the top of your head, and you're able to back away from it before it lands a blow on you.
Okay.
Your little, you know how you retain some fishiness in every form. Well, I forgot. What are you? What form are you in?
I'm
Beetle.
a beetle right
beetle. That's right. Yeah, so you've got like
Cannabis.
now. So if I'm a stink bug,
Wolverine.
I could like try to defend myself.
you could be. Yeah, you can be a stink bug. You could be a bombardier beetle.
Those are
A
good too.
Hercules beetle.
Oh,
I don't know if a spider couldn't fit, could barely fit the whole Hercules beetle probably would not.
A
fit.
large spider was
Yeah.
specified.
Well, there's the
A
great
large
horned
spider.
beetle.
And I said a mouse could fit as well.
Oh right.
So,
Might be a bit big for Hercules beetle, though. That's more rat-sized.
mm-hmm.
I have to Google what a bombardment beetle. Don't think I know what it looks like.
Gotta bring that little guy back on screen. He's too cute.
This is where the great flaw of my resolve and insight only build really is.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think Seth is definitely the
Oh
person
my
that's in the
gosh,
most
they have like
danger.
chemicals. Yeah, heck yeah, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
bombarder beetle. They're
But
cool.
I suppose I can probably assist since there's no magic being used here.
Yeah.
Would I be able to do a survey and see if there's a way around this mantis as well?
Because you're normal person sized, you're still outside of the tree. They are deep in the tree's bowels.
Oh, they're deep in the tree.
Yes, they are deep.
Deep in bouts.
They are beetles deep.
A normal Saturday night.
Would I be able to maybe do a finesse roll to see how I can get around this mantis?
Yeah, but unless you both did a finesse roll, that would only get you past it.
I can do a finesse roll. I
Okay.
do have points in finesse. That is the one power skill I actually invested in.
Yeah, so what does that look like? I could also see yeah. I think finesse makes sense. Are you like using your shell to protect yourself and
Yeah, just maybe
whisper?
trying to make myself bigger and kind of like pivoting around maybe.
Mhm.
It's not
Okay.
entirely clear what direction I'm facing, so if it tries to get us again, then it might be out of the way.
Cool.
Elise or Whisper, are we doing this as a group?
Might be worth doing it as a group thing.
How much willpower do you have? I only have 2, so we can do it individual.
I have 5 left, so again, I could lead the action. I have 5 because neither of those rules were a failure, correct? So
Correct.
I didn't.
That
So,
only cost 1.
but I get.
But when you do have some fails, you'll be able to eat that fail and regain the 2
see.
willpower.
All right. Then yes, I would say let's make this again. Whisper planning the action
Okay.
and leading ahead, and we will both try to skirt around this wretched. Well, no, it's beautiful. I can't even call it wretched. Mounted.
Okay.
Partial success. 5.
Well, no, it's not going to be worse than that at the end of the day.
All right.
No
All right.
more failures. My goodness.
So that only
I'm-
costs you 1 willpower.
I'm wasting willpower on nothing at this point.
No, you get through. So, Seth, you're able to use your shell to deflect a couple of blows, but I think that by the time you're finished and you have gotten around it and down into a narrower hallway that it can't follow you down, it has taken a chunk of your armor out.
Okay.
So you're it's not damage per se, it's not harm, but it might be a weak spot that something could get into at a later point.
Foreshadowing for later.
Uh,
Many insects are beginning to bump into here. Have I
Yeah.
mentioned that I lose them?
I mean, look at the little mantis's face. How can you hate him?
So cute.
So
Strange.
cute. You're British.
All right.
The
Well,
shame
I
that Steph's in here, or I'd burn down the tree at this point.
I'm
Right.
in the tree, you jerk.
I know, I said that.
so
For the reason I'm not.
you head into that narrow hall, and you immediately start losing your footing. Something has slicked the ground here, so you'll either need to resist or potentially take a tumble. Your choice. That would probably be a prowess resist, though I could see an insight resist if you had the right abilities to see it coming.
I can do a prowess resist. Prowess is actually higher.
Cool. How about you, Morningstar?
Oh, are we both slipping in?
Yes.
Um,
Unless you want to stay back with the mantis.
thank goodness no. Well, spider versus mantis seems almost equally fair. But, no, I
That's
suppose
fairly-
I will attempt a prowess resist as well. I'm not sure how study would help me with, or anything in the inside really would help me.
So Seth barely sneaks by without taking trauma there.
My goodness. And unfortunately, mine isn't quite so prolific. Eh,
Okay.
the same amount with half the die.
All right.
But now I'm nearly at the willpower you are, darling.
So I think what this looks like is you both go sliding down this liquid-coated tube, and when you come to the exit, which is over a big drop, Zeph, you're able to get your legs outstretched in such a way that you keep yourself from falling in. And then Whisper comes sliding down behind you and bumps into your back. And the two of you manage to stay stopped up there, just
Maybe
above.
webbing.
And you can see down into the tree, and it looks like a much larger spider lives here. There's web all around, like making a basin in the tree, and you can see the treasure just through the web. You can see sparkling gold and silver just through the thin gossamer web. So if you fell hard enough, you might just tear right through the web and end up in the treasure room.
The question is, do we presume that Jack is the larger spider? Or is there
So,
a bear here that we have to contend with?
If so, he's nowhere to be seen.
I think it's safe to assume that Whisper could probably slip through that web rather quickly. Spiders don't tend to get caught in webs.
If it was made by a fey creature, you're a little worried that that might not be the case, but that's what the dice are for. What do you
Well,
think? Try to swap spots with Seth?
If Whisper wants to go down, Seth can remain lookout and potentially shapeshift into something to get Whisper out of a tricky situation should it arise.
another large spider.
An even larger
Yeah.
spot.
So this chamber is much larger. You could probably shapeshift into like a domestic cat and fit the bottom part,
Or
but
a
you have to
frog.
leave the little hole that you're in. Yeah.
And that's what the old lady swallowed to catch the spider.
It would be cramped if you turned into a decent sized house cat, you'd fill up that whole basin.
Let's see if we can avoid that.
Okay.
Whisper will sling his nasty little silky butt web
Okay.
against the ceiling and attempt to lower himself. Mission Impossible theme playing
Yeah.
between some holes in the web.
Okay.
Get
Sounds
lower.
good.
Mission Impossible / Spider-Man medley.
I will kind of assume that would be a finesse sort of thing.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
Since
Butt
it's-
finesse.
Butt finesse, exactly. It's a partial success.
Okay.
Do, 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 do.
Spider-Man.
great
Spider-Man.
With great butt power comes great butt responsibility.
Thank you, Uncle Butt.
Okay.
It's gone.
So I think that this looks like you do get most of the way down without touching any of the web, but you realize that since you don't have the ability to shapeshift, you're gonna have a hard time getting any further. So basically you got limited effect, and you're still not sure that if you touch the web, if that's gonna be a problem or not. So you'll need to find another way to make it the rest of the way down. But we're in controlled, so
When can they take advantage of that extra dice from our patron?
probably most of the rolls that they could have made coming down here. Now it's within your sight. Though I guess trying to get around an obstacle to get to it might still count, depending on how it's worded. So it's to locate, I think that's what it is, to locate
something hidden or negate a Fey bargain clock tick. So they're still locating.
Locating a hidden safe way down.
Yeah.
We have not yet reached it.
True. So yeah, if you want to look around for another way down, I think that could work. But just squeezing through this opening or something, I don't think it would help.
Well, Sev, it was proposed to become something bigger, but perhaps it becomes something smaller.
Maybe a teeny.
A harmless little flea.
I don't think fleas can fly. Not completely, at least.
Flies can
smaller and smaller.
Flies can also flee.
Gnats are the fleas of the fly world.
There's a gnat. A little gnat.
You'd have to roll a nat 20.
No.
Very difficult, given that the die only go up to 6.
Yep. You'd need at least 4 dice.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna get even smaller.
All right. And jump down onto Whisper's back, or just try to avoid him altogether and just make your way down through the hole?
Whisper went down first to find a path and was unsuccessful, so I think it's my turn to go ahead and find a safe way down for Whisper.
Okay.
Partially successful.
Yeah. Yeah, Whisper's down there with his butt blocking the hole, so you can climb back up a little bit.
Pull up a little bit.
Yeah.
Move your caboose.
Move your plume in a horse.
And the most useful spider
To
buddy.
quote Eliza Doolittle.
All right. What do you think that is? Finesse or spring?
Probably finesse again if I'm going in between webs and small cracks.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, you could even make multiple hops. Hop down into everything's a ledge for you when you're that small. Hop down to a ledge, get a good spot, and then jump down. And yeah,
Okay.
it's not like you need to do it all in one jump. Although, if anyone could, it's a flea.
Well, all my things like finesse and spring are both the same points for me, so I'll
I feel like a flea using spring is kind of a no-brainer.
yeah. Boing, boing, all the way down. I want this to work, so I'll take another bay bargain if I can.
Okay, yeah,
So
absolutely.
I don't know if that's just increasing our clock some more or if we're going to do something different.
Well, it's increasing your clock, darling.
Oh yeah, the red cap's return.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a bad idea. Yeah, let's go ahead and increase that clock by 1 regardless. Does that sound good?
Yeah. I think so, because we're taking our time trying to get down here, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, if you were more fleet of foot, it wouldn't take the time.
Fleet of feet.
Do I maybe suffer harm because you mentioned before that my armor was broken and now I'm shapeshifting after being hurt?
Oh, I thought you were taking the red cap's return.
Oh,
increase.
sorry. I thought we were saying that in addition to, just like because of how much time we were here.
That might be. I might add more to it depending on how you roll.
Don't give them ideas, darling. They're doing the GM's job.
Just goes to show anybody can do it.
Anyone can be malicious to players.
Complete success.
Nice. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think with 3 extremely precise hops, you bounce down and then sail straight through the hole. 1 sec. You sail straight down through the hole and land atop the treasure pile.
Nice.
That probably weighs several thousand times more than you do currently.
I'm not saying too much of
Gentle
a small
woodpecker.
3 very successful boings.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, what you see is some Fey contract tokens that are a lot more valuable than the silver ones that you had your hands on earlier. There are some gold ones and some platinum ones down here in this tree hole. And there is also an artifact, which I will need to randomly roll, because I don't have any ideas for an artifact that he's got put away. Ooh, actually I do now. It is it just looks like a gnarled limb, but it's probably some kind of magic wand.
It's a magic wand of like an old cricket leg.
And it's probably people-sized wand of twisted wood, and it has some runes carved in the little butt.
A lot of talks about butts.
There's a lot of butt talk today.
Well, we can make it a drinking game now. Drink every time. there's-
Yeah.
Did you see what those runes mean, darling?
That's probably something you
I
could.
have psychometry. Can I
yeah.
touch it?
Yeah,
Ooh.
you already are. You're sitting on top of it.
Nice. I'm gonna touch it with my bat.
Of course.
Okay, so I expend 1 essence. Touch an item to gather information about an emotional event in its path.
Our friend Matt will be delighted that their bot made an appearance in this episode.
So the first thing is that, and this is without even the roll, you recognize that the markings inside the tree and the markings on this branch are the same.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Our chat is taking shots when you mentioned the word.
Butts.
Are they? We don't talk about bots that often. Seems like
Today
an
we
Apparently.
do.
We do
odd
now.
drinking game. I suppose there's spiders involved. But once you start involving spiders,
All right. What do you want to roll for that? Seth?
I guess a study?
Okay.
I feel like that makes the most sense.
your
Sure.
study is rather round anyhow. There we go.
Oh,
Ooh.
critical success.
Wow.
Double 6.
Okay. This branch has been used. It was crafted by a green witch that you don't recognize. But if you ever saw her, you would know her immediately. She is a mandrake, and she has flowers growing out of the top of her head. And you can tell what season it is based on the flowers.
Oh, I love her.
And you see her making this lovingly. Actually, you see her the first time she finds this branch on this very tree. And the tree gives her the branch. It just separates gently. And when she turns it around, it already has the mark on its butt.
Oh,
And
well, now I
she
feel.
takes it and enchants it, and you see that it has been used once. It was given to Jack as a gift, and it has been used once to create this entire labyrinth within the tree. It is a wand of tree shaping. It allows you to shape trees as you wish without causing them any harm.
Without causing them harm. I was going to say we could take it to Bumble, whatever his name is, and threaten him with it.
It's not very nice. Let's give him a
We're
6
not
pack.
very nice. At what point in the past 11 outings have you gotten the impression that we're nice?
And we didn't murder the children.
That's true.
No! I brutally forced them to learn a skill until their feet bled.
You're not nice.
I'd say that's more just.
And yet I have the lowest kill count.
It's true.
And I think as the bonus, you learn its activation word. So you hear the activation word spoken by Jack, and you know exactly how to activate the item to use it. And it does require you to touch the tree.
Well, that solves the solution right then and there.
Because I can figure out how to get out of the tree now.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest you turn into a woodpecker.
That would take a long time.
Yeah.
If you wanted to use the wand, you could make your own little hole out.
Mm-hmm. Now, thing is, do we make the hole, take the rest of the treasure, and leave the wand? Or do we take the wand with us?
Or We take the most subtle option. We make the hole, leave the wand, take 2 platinum tokens, and replace them with silver tokens.
Like
A
that
change
idea.
so subtle, you might not even notice. Especially if we make the hole look like a woodpecker hole.
I like that plan. I feel bad if we take this lovingly crafted wand.
Okay. All right.
Has
So
Whisper made it down to me at this point, or am I down here by myself?
no, yeah, Whisper has not made it down yet.
Kind of stuck up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you can make the tree slightly wider so the web stretches a little bit and Whisper can.
Fall through the hole.
Yes.
Would I have
Alright,
to
yeah,
do
do
any
you
kind of
wanna-
rolls for that, or how would I do that?
Yeah. To activate it, you'll need to make a focus roll, and then you just give your intention with it, and we use the focus roll to figure out how well it does.
Okay.
Or you could just
but
make the area where the mantis is just closed.
you'll
I
need to
can
be
exit that way.
in a form that you can produce speech.
Produce speech.
You can turn into a cockatiel.
Cocktail. Yeah, I guess I could be some kind of small speaking bird. So.
Yeah.
But then I don't have hands. I guess I hold it with my foot.
Just
Yeah.
grasp it with your little talon.
Okay.
Cute.
I'll do that then. I guess I'll be a little cockatiel. I'll hold
Okay.
the stick in my foot, scratch my face with it first,
Yeah.
and then tap it on the side of the tree, and just say, "Widen, widen." That's my intent. I imagine I don't know very many words. It's like cockatiel.
You can know as many as you want. Yeah, so it's mostly you can give your intentions through as many words as you want, but
Okay.
the activation word is the only one that you actually have to speak aloud.
Okay.
So yeah, you speak that aloud and you give your intention. So what is your intention?
Okay.
Besides just to widen, do you want to also make an easy exit?
Yes, I'd like to widen the path so that way the webs stretch and Whisper can drop down, and then I would like to leave a little exit hole for us just to make our way out safely.
Okay.
Ideally large enough for us to stick our human hands back into. Or with arms.
That'll be.
All right.
That was focus.
Yep. And it's going to be controlled standard effect.
Complete success.
Nice.
Here
See, we got all the bad rolls out very early.
All right. The wand becomes like an extension of your body, and an extension of your will, and you almost telepathically sort of travel with the tree, and you're able to tell every little part what to do, but it happens in the blink of an eye. So you feel the tree widen out and the hole in the web open up larger, and you make a burrow that leads to the outside. Yeah, the two of you can see in now from the outside, and I think
Whisper can drop down.
yeah, it widens enough that you're able to drop down safely.
Wait, 3 of us, because I'm still outside as well.
No, that's true. Yeah. All right.
We
And
actually entered the tree.
then you'll just need to swap out those tokens.
Well, you might want to take more than those. I'm sure Jack hasn't kept a complete count.
Yeah, maybe we can leave one up with the red cap so he thinks that they were maybe playing around a little bit with them.
Ooh.
We could give them the wand.
I don't trust them. with the
My
wand.
chaotic heart loves it.
I don't care if you trust them, darling. We don't want to trust them. We want chaos. That way they get blamed for more.
All right. So yeah, I don't think it's going to take any more rolls since you've already got back out. You just decide what you're taking, and we can end that undertaking. So
I might say we should leave the wand because I'm not certain what situations it will come up with. But I do think leaving the wand with the brownies, the red caps, rather, might provide us with a good alibi. Or a good fall guys, rather. We don't need it though. I mean, how many times are we really going to reshape a tree?
I'm not so sure if it's a good alibi or not, considering we had to be insect-sized to get into the spot where it was. And they're 11 to 15 inches. So that doesn't make too much sense.
yeah, 15 to 20, I think. Enough that they can climb around on the tree pretty easily, but they couldn't make it into any of those holes without some magical assistance.
It still at least muddles the waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we might be the first assumption, were we to wander into the park and take a whole bunch of coins, if suddenly the brownies or the red caps had the wand and a few coins were missing, not all of them, but a few, who knows what happened?
I think with all that confusion, why there's no reason why you would think, how did this happen? Especially with all the stuff we just caused before that. It's just
Yes, they'll just
hurry up and clean
execute the
up
red
with that.
caps.
And it creates distrust with the red caps in him.
Mm,
So
So,
that
yeah,
would
once
leave
you-
his hoard open.
I do love fomenting unrest.
Once you pick, we'll roll a fortune roll and see how well that works out.
Let's sow the seeds of confusion.
But I would say we should at least take a few coins as
Yes.
we go.
Yeah.
How many? How many
Let's
are there?
talk about-
That's the important question. How many platinum coins are there?
We'll say 2. I like that.
Oh,
Let's switch them out then.
2
yes, let's just swap
platinum,
those for silver.
2 platinum, 2 gold, and no other coins.
I think swapping those for silver seems sensible. Leave the gold and
Okay. So I'm going to start with 1 die for that. Anything else you want to sow the seeds of distrust?
Yeah.
well, we could leave. I mean, we know that those red caps are chaotic little bastards. If we leave the wand anywhere close to them, they'll find it. Without our help, they will find it and they will start causing chaos with it,
Mm-hmm.
which is perfect.
If they can use it.
Yes, true. They might just start stabbing each other with it.
Either way.
Break it.
Oh.
Because I know the
Fine.
activation word. They don't know the activation word.
Yep.
True.
You,
It'll
Jack,
just be a
and
glorified, like, shish kebab stick.
yeah, you, Jack, and the wand's creator seem to be possibly the only people that know the activation word.
That is a
Would
bit
this be
useful.
considered destroying knowledge if we give it to them and they break this wand?
If they break it, for sure, yeah.
I suppose we could. The problem is, how do
Oh.
we break the... How do we...
We have the hole already. We could leave the wand and I just do woodpecker holes around it, and then it just looks like that. Then we don't have to get Arcana pissed at us for destroying knowledge.
I was going to say, also, you can always end an effect that you've created, so you could basically just you could put the wand back and then end the effect and make the tree go back to the way it was.
Oh,
Well, that would be ideal.
Okay, yeah. Let's
Yeah.
do
Then,
that.
yes, darling, you must do that. We'll swap out the platinums for silvers, and no one will know the difference.
All right.
Jack will think that he misunderstood what he had.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Ideally.
All right. So they're tier 1, and we're adding 1 for the attempted deception. So let's do a 2-die fortune roll, Morningstar. And
Yes.
you want to roll... You want to roll low because more dice is worse.
Is that With-
exclamation point 2F.
F? I see. Alright. So, it's a mixed result.
Ah. Okay. So, yeah. That's not the worst, but it's not the best, so, yeah. There will be a consequence. So, let's figure out what that is. I don't think that that's enough of a bad result for them to instantly know that it's you all. But maybe that's going to sour them on another group of Fae, like the Redcaps. Maybe he won't use Redcaps for guards anymore.
Next time we
Banish.
go, there'll be
Fine, they
somebody
can come over our
terrifying.
So, sometime in the next couple of days, Jack is going to banish the Redcaps from Central Park. And that is going to cause a little bit of havoc on the streets of Manhattan surrounding the area. And I think I'm going to create a new Tier 1 faction, the Redcaps. Redcaps United. They have formed a tiny little union. So, all right.
Here I was going to teach Hollis how to take young, susceptible minds and crush them to her will.
I just need one. They're cute. I just want one.
I think
Pet
the kids could
Redcap.
play with them.
Yeah. It'd be
just
a
to
lot of
carry in
fun.
your pocket. You just need like
Oh
one.
yes, it's a great
Fun
idea.
size.
Expose the children to fairies with knives.
All right.
I mean, they
That'd
already
be
eat
great.
people. They're pretty tough.
Always love getting to create a new faction on the fly. Okay. So headed back home with your ill-gotten gains?
Yep.
Well, if we linger much longer, it might not look too good for us.
That is a massive payout. You have the equivalent of 2 Tier 4 artifacts
Oh, dang.
worth of platinum. Fey contracts. So, yeah, you could put 8 levels or 2 times 4 levels of Fey contract. And I assume that's Elise or Seth holding onto them. You want to put them in the vault?
Oh yes, we don't want anyone getting those.
Okay.
At least until we know what to do with them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How did you say the fake contract is working?
For what? For your character or?
You just said like 2, and I heard 2 and 8. But I
It's
was...
the opposite of a Fey contract. It's what the Fey owe us in return for the toys.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, So right now, Anya's character has 1 level of Fey contract. If they come and collect that from her, it turns into, or can be turned into, a silver token.
Okay.
So if they wanted to trade that contract among themselves, they would hand each other potentially that silver token, and it would have something related to her on that token. So you could potentially hunt down the people who owe these contracts. They're probably pretty powerful if they owe level 4 contracts, and then use them as bargaining chips with them as well.
That might be a big extreme because level 1 contract versus a level 4 token.
Yeah, that's why it's the equivalent of a rank 4 artifact for them. So that would be the equivalent of what they would swap with you.
It would be interesting to know who owes them for sure.
Yeah. What faction, what they did. Yeah. Relatively powerful witches, for sure. So yeah, that was a massive payout. That is 3 times 8. That's a 24 Fey fruit effectively payout.
Dang.
My goodness.
That's by
If
far
I
the
was
biggest.
to steal those away, I'm halfway to my goal.
Yeah, double that and you could become a lich. Or what do you call it? I can't remember the non-gendered term for matriarch.
Is lich a gendered term?
No, matriarch and patriarch. There's like another term that means rearch.
Yeah.
But
Rearch.
Rearch might actually be the
non-gendered
term.
rearch. Hang on, I think I
At any rate, my heart is dark enough.
have.
Lichdom is the answer. My goodness. But I'm sure we'll find something more pressing to use them for.
Mm-hmm. Oh, apparently that is one of the differences between the quick start and the full game.
Ooh.
It does not have the what you become when you retire. Or
There you go, darlings. You need to get the full game.
or if it does, it's very well hidden. Actually, it might just be in a newer edition than what I have printed out. That's possible too. Okay. So everybody gets 2 downtime actions. I think that it's probably a good idea if you all start working toward getting that lesser ritual that allows you to become tier 2.
Well, we should should we draw down the moon first before the downtimes?
Absolutely.
So that we all know how many willpower and essence we still have to.
Yeah.
And I guess the magic has been eaten off of you from spiders, so
Yeah.
that's not necessary, but
Yeah, and Madeline is gonna be like, "Why didn't you bring back any spiders for me? I've still got
Isn't that
one."
one? Whisper's still here. Whisper is the MVP of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Just never doing anything useful before the
He has acted as your eyes several times, but that's about it.
Not as useful as Holus's or Yarrow's eyes.
Yeah. So, Azalwyn, have you done Drawing Down the Moon yet?
I have not.
Do you want to? Do you get the gist of it?
Yeah, so basically, I am just basically whatever way I decide to draw down the moon, correct?
Yeah.
And draw its powers down to us. So I feel like I feel like we're all outside about to go in, and Yarrow lifts her horns, and you see the moon framed in between her horns, and she takes her horns and she ducks them down, and with that, you see the shadow and the light from the moon come down and wash over all of us and cleanse us of everything.
Right. Y'all that
Gorgeous visual
pesky
imagery.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you can roll 1 exclamation point 1 DDTM.
Well, oh yeah, drawing down if I can like remember my.
And hopefully this is the last time
Oh, that was in the wrong thing, I think.
No, I
rolling.
just need a 1 in there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Until maybe next time. Oh!
Oh, nice.
Magnificent.
Well, it didn't say the right thing because it's DTTM instead of DDTM, but that's okay. We'll still count it because that's awesome. So that is the best, well, pretty much the best result.
Mhm.
Everybody is going to regain on page 23. 6 essence and 3 willpower to each member. Fantastic.
Seth, you're not near death anymore.
Yay! I'm not gonna die as a flea.
And you can oligarch. Not quite the word I was thinking of, but scary. Yeah, so lost my train of thought.
Downtime?
Yeah, downtime actions, and the right of trying to remember the right.
The right.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the left.
Right of knowledge is what you've already learned.
You have to get a new right for every level?
Yeah. So you have done the Rite of Becoming, which was tier 0, the Rite of Knowledge, which was tier 1. The Rite of Enlightenment is the one for tier 2.
Okay.
Well, we should focus on that.
That's a 6 clock, so I'll go ahead and start that 6 clock.
Okay.
And anybody can spend downtime actions to help learn that.
Well, I will spend one of my downtime actions to learn that.
Okay.
To help learn that.
Same.
So is that like a focus roll to learn a right?
It could be focus, it could be study. You pretty much get to choose.
I'm gonna do focus because I feel like that's how she learns rituals and things, is using her magical focus.
Sounds good.
Partial success. 4.
Okay. May 4, that's gonna be so on those you can do F for fortune roll, but that's gonna be 2 ticks.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and mark that. So that is 1/3 of the way done.
Nice.
And for your second downtime action?
I think for my second one, I'm gonna train my resolve.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Okay.
All right. Lilith, do you want to go next? I'm going to go in reverse order around the...
Sure. I think I'm going to use my remaining faith fruit so I can get 3 downtime actions this time.
Okay.
I'd like to do 1 to see if I can get any further on that clock for the prison break for getting information on that captain, building an ally.
Yeah. You're pretty close to that one, right?
Yeah, I have 8 out of 10, so I'm pretty close.
Nice.
So as long as you don't fail this.
And I would just do whatever action I wanted. So if I wanted to do like study or something, I would do that
Mhm.
point, or am I doing like the insight, prowess, and resolve first?
Yeah, you would choose an action.
Okay. Still think study's probably the best one, just because we're trying to. Or I don't know. So I don't have anything in command or consort. And I feel like that's important too, but maybe just study. Just to kind of understand the person maybe and a little bit more the person's character.
Yeah.
Sing.
Mixed results out of 4. 2 tick.
2 ticks. That fills out your clock. That's a big deal. We're going to have some chat outside of the game. So that's going to be, that's a lot of important information. So you guys have potentially 2 big jailbreaks in front of you now.
Are we talking about the zoo as a jailbreak?
Yeah.
I thought that was more of a destroy the cages and involve some kids.
And I'd like to do one for willpower.
Restore willpower, sure.
Yeah.
What is your therapeutic situation?
My therapeutic situation, since I'm going to imagine I'm still a flea, I'm just going to completely immerse myself in a dewdrop.
You're not a flea, you're a cockatiel.
Oh, alright, I'm a cockatiel now. Then I'll bathe in a puddle. Do a little splishy splash in a mucky puddle.
Sounds good.
Whistle if you're happy and you know it.
It's still gonna be like exclamation number F roll, or and that's, or is that a insight number for willpower?
That's a good point. I think that's the lower of your resolver insight, yeah.
Okay.
Correct. It is.
Okay. So it'd be.
But it's this exclamation point, that number F.
Okay. Bad result. Little to no effect. 1 tick. So not so great.
Well,
Mucky
at least you
puddle was
didn't roll a
1.
1. Okay, so that is going to restore 1.
Okay. And I would like to do some healing to see if we can do something about my shoulder. So would somebody be able to assist me with this first aid kit?
And I could help, darling. At this point, I know quite a bit about your disgusting fishy anatomy. I'm practically a marine biologist.
I think because you've been nursing this wound for a while, you can just, with 1 downtime action, you can move it down 1 level.
Okay.
So it would become a level 2.
Okay.
Once you get it down to level 1, it'll heal automatically from your vital form. Am I right that you have that?
Yes.
Yeah. The beginning of downtime. Instantly heal your lowest level of harm. Never mind. It's actually healed automatically.
Oh. I thought that only
Yeah.
counted for, I thought it meant like lowest as in like tier 1 harm.
But if you don't
So
have
it's
any
just-
tier 1.
It's just done.
Yeah, if you don't
Oh.
have any level 1, it goes up to 2. If you don't have any 2, it goes up to 3. and
Okay.
heals. Yep, so
then
you're
I guess
good, actually.
Okay.
Yay.
So
And
you
that
can dedicate it to the ritual.
And that did not cost you a downtime action.
Okay.
So if you
Well, I'll
want to do
still
another,
use my Fey Fruit and I'll just do it again for willpower then.
sounds good.
So that'll be another Exclamation mark. F.
Hey,
That one was better 3 ticks.
yeah, nice.
Yay. Alrighty.
You're on the field.
Well, now whoever decides to do it doesn't even have to roll.
All right. Morningstar.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to clean up my willpower a little bit. So
Mhm.
I'll take some time and perhaps just spend time with the children.
Hmm.
You know, care for them moderately.
Yell at them.
Give them the slightest little bit of motherly love to remind them that it's good enough here that they shouldn't risk it anywhere else.
Sounds good. Is that sway or
Well,
consort?
I suppose it would be this is a to recover willpower.
Oh, right.
Time
So
with
resolve or
kids.
insight. Yeah, lower of the two. Good point.
It's more so for me than for them, but
Yeah.
make them think that I'm doing them a favor.
You're so convincing to me that I know. All right, so that's 2 willpower back.
Right, well that's manageable. Now I'm torn between investing in the ritual and training my grimoire.
Yeah, it
Because
still
I
needs 4
really
more ticks.
does it. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, I thought it was 6 o'clock.
It was 6 and 2 have been filled.
Oh, Seth was doing their willpower. I see. All right. Well then I suppose I'd better do that, and I'll just maybe wait till next time. I don't think I'm going to be getting much experience this round, but let's focus on the ritual because getting our tier up is quite important. So I will focus on doing a little bit of studying
Okay.
and seeing how I can contribute to the ritual.
And don't forget that you can bring in an NPC, a contact,
True, I could call
to help
Quinn
you, and
over.
that'll give you +1 die.
Because Quinn might know a thing or two, so perhaps we call Quinn over to the island. Now that it's a nice place to be, at least. I'm sure she won't object too much to being stuck here for a little tiny bit. And we can perhaps have her help.
Sounds good. Yep, she'll bring some books.
Oh, perfect. Always need a few books.
She loves the overnight study sessions.
And that is what for rolling it again? The die number and then
F.
F again? Alright. That's a mixed result as well.
Okay,
Which
2
is
ticks.
surprising. I
That
was
gets...
firmly believing I was going to get a critical there.
That would have filled it out completely. So yeah, it's 4 out of 6 now. All right, and Azelwyn.
Yeah, so I think I would like to contribute as well
Okay.
to the Enlightenment Ritual. And I think I would study those
Okay.
lovely books because I'm instantly I see the books, I'm digging into them.
And Quinn is
So-
already here, so you can use their assistance.
Yeah, I think that'll work. It's going to be taxing on Quinn to be because they've already pulled an all-nighter with you, but I think that that's completely acceptable. If there's a 1, it'll definitely be a Quinn problem. So.
All right, so I think since I only have 1 mark in study, that would just be a 1 roll fortune, right?
Well, you get 1 for Quinn helping.
For Quinn helping, okay. There we go. Hey, well, it's what we needed.
Hey, great. All right.
Anything more would have been superfluous.
True. Rite of Enlightenment complete. Somebody can mark that on the coven sheet. And now all you need is 2 reputation or 2, what's it called? Influence. which I think you're either close to or you've already passed.
We have 2 reputation and 2, 2 influence and 2 infamy.
Nice. So yeah, and then the only other thing you need is, I think, 9 coven upgrades, and you are very, very close to that as well. You have 8 coven upgrades currently.
Yep.
Although we haven't spent all of them. So there are 2 that have question marks, but I think you guys had decided secure coven stead.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes,
Okay.
the secure coven state is a necessity. I think the cruise ship was iffy.
Yeah. So, but that's 8. So once you guys get 7 more coven XP,
And we have not yet done this evening's experience.
Yep. So 7 more experience, and you don't actually have to spend the upgrade slot to get to be at 9. So, all right. Do you have another downtime action?
Yeah, I actually would like to start the long-term action of digging into the big book I have found, into where I just slowly get knowledge from that.
Yeah.
So I think I would like to start that. I guess it's up to you how. I guess it's a pretty large book, so I guess it would be a pretty large clock to get information out of. But I feel like it would hold like a lot of artifact information and kind of that.
I agree. Let's say it's let's call it a 2 clock for every tier of artifact that you want to get information on.
Okay.
So if you want to get tier 2 artifacts information, it's going to be a 4 clock. And if you want to get a tier 5 artifacts information, it's going to be a 10 clock.
Let's for the first one, because I feel like I'm just breaking into the book.
Yeah.
I think we'll start at the lower
4.
Yeah, so we'll do a 4.
All right.
I don't know what she thinks she's doing at this point.
So there are Tomb Raiders and there are Tome Raiders. You are a Tome Raider.
Yes.
So you're going tome diving.
Or a craft.
I feel like I can get lost in this book. It's giant.
And you can make 1 roll to start it off.
Oh, yeah, okay. Would that just be a regular action roll?
Yeah, and your choice completely as to what you want to use. I think focus and study probably make the most sense, but
I would
roll
just say
right
my
north.
study, even though it's only 1, but it's still there.
cool.
Oh,
I was gonna say, do you want to add an extra die to that and have Quinn try to help?
I think Quinn helps is pretty like stretched out anyway, since Quinn helped with the Enlightenment Ritual. So
yeah, okay.
I will accept the failure.
Well, it's not a full failure. It is 1 tick on the clock. So you have 1 tick out of 4 at finding a tier 2 artifact or getting information about a tier 2 artifact.
Ooh.
And then you guys will have a new target for a undertaking.
Yes.
So.
The undertakings we're supposed to be taking.
All right, let's do.
It's good to have Yano here to keep us on track, instead of just going and killing everyone slightly religious.
Chaotic as I am, I'm surprised that's somehow happening, but that's chaos, I guess, controlled.
Yeah.
Your version of chaos happens to align with our patrons.
No wonder your patron summoned her. All right. Who wants to do Coven XP?
So I can pull it up.
Okay.
Each session, mark 1 Coven XP for each below, or 2 XP if they occurred more than once. Successfully complete a favorite undertaking.
We did.
Favorite undertakings are locate artifact, destroy, and arson. So, definitely located but we did not destroy or arson this round.
Yes. There was no fire or destruction.
I think an argument could be made for destruction. You splintered a faction into two separate factions
My goodness.
by your actions.
That's
So
true.
I think it's worthwhile to make the extra effort to try to make the other ones happen, because we want to get that 7 today.
Did we end up making? I can't remember. Did we end up making a fire when we were trying to do the wild magic, or did we do something
No.
else?
Ice
Nice. Okay.
The ice was only for the
vines.
tree as well.
Yeah.
No fire this evening, except for on my cigarette. Does that count?
Well, you've already got 2, so.
Contend with challenges above your current station.
I think normally Shadow Dawn is tier 1, but when you deal with an NPC who is like a primary acting force, they often get a tier boost. And I think because you were acting directly against Jack Spiderstripe's objectives, that I think that counts as more difficult.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of anything else. You did get very close to the domain of the Order, and I think you got out of there safely, and you have an idea of how you want to take them on. I think that's worth 2.
Okay.
We did do wild magic like right in front of them. So
That's true. Good point. Good point.
2
Okay.
points
Yeah,
for
definitely.
both sections.
It's too bad that maxes out at 2, because after you saying that, I'm like, you deserve 4 for that.
Bolster your coven's lore, act in a manner befitting your patron. Arcana pierces a rainbow swirling mist in the moonlight. Arcana speaks to the coven via telepathy and reveals magical secrets. We didn't destroy knowledge, but I don't know.
We didn't destroy anything.
Yeah.
We were very, very good. Except for, again,
The
the trust between the caps.
I think
And
using psychometry on a magical item to figure out what it is kind of learning archaic knowledge. So,
That's true.
you know, like
I mean,
You
we
did
did learn the
critical that.
activation word, so.
and we specifically didn't give the wand to the red caps because we were worried they would break it and destroy knowledge. So that was acting in a manner befitting our patron as well.
Okay.
Plus, it is much more subtle just to leave it where it was.
Express the drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the.
I think we expressed our essential nature by asking for fire to be used a lot.
Well, I would also say... Oh, no, that's the law. I was going to say... The constant weird wild magics that summoned a million ghosts was definitely strange.
Yeah, that's weird, for sure. Well, that's 7.
Nice. Do you want to stop there, or you think you can go for 8?
I don't know if there's more. Truth be told, I don't fully understand how to do the weapon
Which one?
upgrades very well.
Oh yeah, you just check up one of those boxes there, and
Oh yeah, I've been checking
guys-
them up. Just I don't fully understand the advancement tabs. So
Gotcha.
rationalize those versus like the personal XPs.
So we
Oh,
need one
gotcha.
more XP.
Yeah, so I think with 7 that clears you out completely, so I'll just unmark them,
Okay.
and then that gives you an additional one down here, and you guys can choose to make it a coven upgrade or a greater ritual. If you wanted to do a greater ritual, there's telepathic bond is a good one,
Which has certainly been
and then
contemplating.
You could get an arcane library in your Covenstead, which would always give you a bonus to researching stuff like Yarrow's book. You could bring your Coven friend on to live in your home as an expert, and then you could make use of them in all of your actions rather than just a few.
It might also be worth doing to get an Archivist workshop.
That's true. An Arcanist workshop would be fantastic. That would increase the effectiveness of creating artifacts and
We just have to defer to Yarrow when it comes to creating things.
yeah.
Oh, I
And if
think
you
I
all
would have
ever
more
get
fun.
and if y'all ever get an eclectic witch in the group, they can make use of that workshop as well.
And of course, any of the trainings is worth getting as an upgrade as well, because that will benefit all of us.
Yeah. So, like I said, you don't actually have to choose that one right now. For
Well,
that
we
to
have
count.
two to decide still.
Yeah, two to pick.
I feel like the the telepathic bond should be just like a given at this point.
Especially
Yeah.
if we're gonna
Yeah.
take the order on and do like prison breaks, like probably could call
Oh
that.
yeah, you'll want to be able to split up and.
Well, and it's not my priority right now, but if I do get telepathic relay, then it provides exactly what you were talking about earlier, where one of us who has not spent any willpower is able to grant that
Mm-hmm.
to someone else through me.
Oops.
Oh no, wait, no, I can just do that anyways, if I get that. Two separate things. But still, they do coexist splendidly at some point. Again, I'm not going to get telepathic relay soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then why don't we go ahead and get telepathic bond so that when we do need to split up, it's not as treacherous.
Sounds good
Yeah,
to me.
especially since I believe wasn't my key destroyed.
No.
Not destroyed.
Oh.
You just have to pick it back up.
Okay.
It was too spicy to hang on to with the little possum heads.
But remember, it is a ritual we have to cast,
Mm-hmm.
which means one less downtime. Still, worth getting.
Well, then I have
We
a
can
bias
combine.
towards the Arcanist workshop as well.
Yeah.
I
Because
think
we
it's
get
sensible,
two,
but
right?
perhaps we wait for the Arcanist workshop until this book is further along.
Yeah. Right now you have two
And we
potentials.
could get both of them, telepathic bond and an Arcanist workshop.
Yep. You would just be taking cruise ship as a secondary Covenstead off the list for now.
Which I don't think we're going to use.
Yeah.
Just keep the cruise ship as a cruise ship. I think that's
Yeah.
sufficient for a cruise ship.
So, Arcanist Workshop or Arcane Library?
Oh, yes, that's a good question.
The library does interest me as well. It's all interesting.
Yeah.
It would be good to have Quinn here full time. I think, again, the Arcanist workshop is something that we definitely should get. And I think if we're going to get any workshop, it should be the Arcanist workshop, because none of the rest of us are crafting reliably.
Arcane Library. You have a small library of arcane books, documents, and maps allowing you to gather information about mythical creatures, mythical components, grimoire powers, and general powers without leaving your Covenstead. And Workshop. Your Covenstead has a workshop appointed with tools for crafting of a particular grimoire. Gain +1 die to such activities. You can accomplish long-term projects without leaving your Covenstead, and gain +1 Grimoire XP when you use the training downtime action for that Grimoire.
Oh, how fortunate.
Yeah.
But that will also allow Yarrow to catch up.
That's true.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely needed. Looking at my powers, I'm like, oh, I would like some, greater telekinesis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Seems
cool with
like
doing the workshop.
my vote is for the telepathic bond and the Arcanist workshop.
Cool.
Because God knows I'm never going to use a workshop myself, even though I love the additional XP.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with as much as we need to do this last outing, it might be useful at some point. He swooped in and saved us all.
Well, I mean, he didn't swoop in. You all did successfully gather him. Or Whisper did. So. But yeah, it is nice to have powerful Fae on your side, at least even for a moment. They can do things a lot faster than the witches can, but of course their cost is much higher.
They're flighty.
Yeah. Can somebody roll 2 dice, fortune die? So 2DF or !2F. This is for a what's it called? An entanglement.
Is anyone else doing it? If not, I will.
Go for it.
It's a good result.
Okay. And then also, Anya, will you roll 1 fortune die for your Fey entanglement? All
I got
right.
a bad result.
The funny thing is that those are actually inverted, because they are usually rolled by the GM. So a bad result is good, and a good result is bad. So you all will have an entanglement based off of what happened here in the last session. And Anya, Hollis will have we'll start to see what kind of Fey entanglement will befall her later, but it is not going to come to fruition during the next session.
Okay.
So basically, as long as you roll 1s through 3s, you get another hint at what's coming without it actually coming. So it's kind of fun. It pushes forward and pushes forward.
So once my propensity for rolling 6s has bit us in the arse.
Yes. That means that you will have an entanglement that happens probably at the beginning of the next session that you are not in control of at all, and you will start in a risky position. So, yeah. So that's interesting.
We will be home and the children can help.
It's one of the rare times that the GM actually gets to come up with something out of whole cloth and throw it at you. So. All right, fantastic. Let's do personal XP real quick if we can.
Okay.
Actually, I see there are 4 viewers, and that is probably us. So, why don't we go
I
ahead
do count as one. Yes.
So why don't we go ahead and do personal XP off stream?
All right.
So we can say goodbye to everyone and let them know where they can find all our goodies.
Stop slapping me.
Morningstar, do you want to start?
Well, I'm not sure who's left to say goodbye to, but if you're still watching and you want to see more of my beautiful face, you can follow me at the Cytherian either with an underscore in between on Twitter and Instagram, or without on Facebook. And it's written there under my name, under my beautiful face, so that you don't have to even figure out how to spell it yourself.
That's great, because this is a moderately hard word to spell.
Hmm.
But yeah, and also, even though there might not be anybody actually watching at this exact moment, we get about 150 views during the week
Oh, that's
Ooh.
fantastic.
of people watching, and those just pop in throughout the entire week. So that's super fun.
So if you're watching this late,
Yes.
what's wrong with you? Make sure that you're here on Tuesday.
Come join us. We don't bite hard.
It's a partial success, the command roll. So you'll be here on Tuesday. You might not pay attention, but you'll be here on Tuesday.
And we'll let them decide what the cost is.
Yes, there you go. You get to decide the cost. Exactly.
All right. Let's go to Azalwin.
Well, you can find me at Azalwin on almost anything. If it isn't at that directly, it would put an art at the end of it, and that would be me. And I'm just always up to a bunch of random, fun, creative things. I recently got the best compliment of my life. It was called a Renaissance woman. So, so just mental breakdowns and creative things, and that's what you can follow me for.
And good TikToks.
I'm trying. Well, not trying so much. I'm having a lot of fun, but honestly, it has been quite an interesting transition from what I had my TikTok in the beginning to.
All right. Lilith?
You can find my Instagram at Megs Benedict. I don't really do anything there because my design work and my photography work can be found at the links provided by the Cytherian. I'm their editor.
All right. Anya?
Yeah, like I say every time, I don't really have anything to plug, so go find our Patreon and support us there. We also got a new, are we going to talk about our new...
Yeah. Go ahead.
We got it. We opened up a spring tea shop where you can go buy merch for Nightsky Sanctum and Children of Midnight and all kind on pretty much any product that you want that they sell there. It's pretty cool.
We'll have to start putting things up for all the weird quotes that happen.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I've had a really fun time designing stuff for it, and I would love everybody's input. But yeah, it's super fun.
And there's nothing I like more than providing input, especially when it's asked for.
Yeah, the Teespring shop is pretty cool. I'm really excited for that. Our Patreon is pretty easy to find, which is cool. And you could be the first because we're not Patreon supporters yet. But we are currently offering a personalized postcard to Patreon supporters. Patreon is doing this as a thing for new supporters that show up. They can get a personalized postcard from us. So, and that runs all the way through Anya's birthday on January 4th of next year. So, anybody that wants to support us, feel free to go there. It's a lot of fun. We actually have the game now, a special Teespring edition of the game that's digital, that has the new character sheets in it. They're finished. They look beautiful, but they don't have the. They're printable, but they don't have. They're not form fillable yet. So if you go over there and you.
If you wanna see what that looks like.
Hmm?
Oh,
Yeah.
they're so gorgeous.
Yeah,
I
aren't they
can't wait
just
until.
visually stunning?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We'll be using them on stream as soon as they're form fillable, because I think that's going to be amazing. They look awesome, and we're just getting a couple more things added to them, and then they'll be ready to go. So, yeah, but I can't think of anything else particularly. I'm really enjoying this stream, and I'm so glad for everybody that's come along for the ride. I think this... we're going to try to get this campaign, this season, to run through the end of the year, but we might have some interruptions with the holidays and everything, so we'll see how that goes. Hey, somebody's back, or somebody's still here in chat. You are amazing, Struggle Princess. Thank you. So yeah, we will be back next week for sure, and I think our new campaign that's starting up on Thursdays should start officially next week, not this Thursday. I wish I could give you some hints. It looks really interesting. It is a vast departure. I stumbled over that word badly. It is a vast departure from Nightsky Sanctum. So that's going to be really interesting to show the versatility of this game and the directions it can go. They're going in the Be Gay Do Crimes direction, which is great, and I love it. And I think most of our games end up Be Gay Do Crimes. But yeah, I think they're getting excited.
Exactly call us law-abiding citizens.
They're getting
Maybe a bit less sexually obvious.
We're more like pyromaniac Indiana Jones.
Well, they've been getting into the arson as well, so I think they might have taken arson as one of their
Nice.
types. But they're a starting coven, so they're going to be starting out at tier 0. So it'll be really interesting to see them working their way up from the bottom.
We'll have a Wednesday stream where the two covens just fight each other to the death.
PvP stream. Yeah, once they get settled in, let's definitely do that. You have like multiverses where the multiverses collide and yeah, battle for Manhattan.
Some
Would
wild
that be
magic
the end
is
of the Watcher, then?
awry.
Oh,
So, all right. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us, and we will sign off, and hopefully we will have far fewer technical difficulties next week.
I'm sure.
So you will probably hear us talking for a split second, but we're going to go to the actual credits this time. So have a great night, everyone. Okay, we're off.